Hey Droogies, how you're doing? It's Sam from Gemini, and today we're going to talk about something which is bordering on politics, as much as I don't want to talk about politics. Booyah! Guys, so first and foremost, hope you're all doing well and staying safe. About a certain taekwondo practitioner who's involved with British taekwondo, or the sphere of British taekwondo. They've won a few national championships, and this video is going to basically answer a question whether those national championship accolades and statuses, awards, should be revoked. And based on political reasons and cultural reasons, socio-cultural reasons as well. So there's an individual who was involved or is involved very heavily in poomsae in taekwondo, and won a few competitions down the line, won a few national championships as well, and they also got into the British national poomsae team, going off representing the UK, England, Great Britain, and it's sort of all associated territories, if you want to get colonial, in different competition formats, whether they're indigenous at home competitions in England or if they're abroad. Nothing wrong with that in itself. A lot of poomsae practitioners, indeed a lot of competitors, active competitors, seek to join national teams so they can go off and do these competitions abroad, mostly. Also, that could open up, until quite recently, being part of a national team opened up the opportunities to go and do world championships, European championships, world championships, you know, international competitions in different continents. I mean, my own competition record I'm very proud of, because I've done competitions in Disneyland Paris, Belgium, Wales, Finland, Portugal, Canary Islands, India, Poland. I also did a competition on a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean as well, as part of the Virtual World Championships in 2022. Very proud of all these achievements. For the most part, they've been representing Malta, which is my adopted country. But it's not about me, it's about this individual. So, won a few national championships, got into the British national poomsae team, continued to have a reasonable level of success, competing both at home and abroad. Then they suddenly stopped. However, they have mentioned numerous times, both in person, but then also written documentation and evidence as well, saying that actually they don't agree with Britain in general, they don't agree with British establishment, they don't agree with British monarchy. And again, you don't have to be a monarchist to be in a national team, I get that. But you would kind of expect somebody who's part of a national team to be into something like that. Because if you're representing your country, sure, regardless of what the country is, surely then you'd have some support for the national establishments. For instance, if you take like footballers, for instance, national football teams. If we took, say, I don't know, Zidane, we'll keep it nice and easy. Zinedine Zidane, French footballer, part of a French football national team, or was part of the French national team. And if he was going around basically saying he didn't agree with France, he didn't agree with the French way of life, the culture, he didn't agree with the establishment of France, people would start asking questions like, are you really French? Like, why are you even in the French national team if you're so opposed to French establishment norms, values and customs? A good example as well could be seen with Lewis Hamilton recently in Formula One, speaking out in recent years against the UK in various different ways, shapes and forms. And because of his diatribes against the UK, a lot of people, a lot of like British fans of Lewis Hamilton actually now don't support him. They're like, well, how can you be supporting Britain if you clearly don't like it? And the same can be applied to this guy, this poomsae guy, because you look at him and think, fair enough, okay, you're entitled to your opinions in life. You don't have to like Britain or any any country and culture for that matter, that's your prerogative. That's entirely up to you. But if you're part of a national team, you would expect them to be proud to be representing that country. You'd expect them to be proud of maybe not their country of birth, but that country which has adopted them, and the country they're representing. That when you're representing a country in a national team, you're representing the cultures, you're representing the values, you're representing the ethos of that culture, irrespective of what that country might be. If I was, part of, I don't know, the US national team of taekwondo, for instance, it kind of goes as a given that I would be supportive of American culture and American values. And no, this individual, let's say, recently made some disparaging remarks about the coronation of King Charles. Whether you're a royalist or not, I don't care. That's fine. I can still make friends with you if you're a Republican. I can make friends with you if you're a monarchist. I see the individual, not necessarily the political ideologies. But being part of a national team and then saying this kind of stuff against your own head of state, at the end of the day, sure, you may not like King Charles. Again, that's totally up to you. That's your choice. But there are worse people out there, far worse people out there. And what's transpired with this particular individual is that there's evidence and suspicion, reasonable suspicion, to suggest he actually supports certain groups, political groups, militant arm of political groups, and even some governments which are very oppressive of human rights, have no regard for religious minorities, no regards for women's rights, are in favour of capital punishment, and he would rather side with those kind of establishments as opposed to Britain. It's not a perfect country, but Britain is a democracy. It is part of the free world. They allow freedom of expression. Britain allows freedom of expression, freedom of religion. It's one of the most, now, 21st century Britain is one of the most culturally diverse and inclusive cultures and countries that you're going to find. Seriously. That's why so many people come to the UK. If it's so bad, why do so many people want to come to the UK and live? Why do so many people want to come to the UK and make a living and start families and start businesses and grow and integrate together? If it's so bad, tell me, why do so many people come here? But with this individual, the point being that if he is so opposed, and again, there is written evidence to show that he's not supporting the establishment, if you're so opposed to your own country's values and cultural norms and ways of life, one, you shouldn't be in the national team. People might say, oh, that's a bit harsh. Why is it harsh? It makes perfect sense. If I was awarded, if I lived in Japan and I went around criticizing Japanese culture and values and establishments all the time, sooner or later they're going to tell me to get out. They're like, well, you're clearly not happy here, go. And they have a full reason to do that. So again, if you're in a national team and you go around and you're clearly not happy with who you're meant to be representing, get out. The door's there. It doesn't take much to open up a door. Additionally, then all these national championship awards, accolades, trophies that this individual has won should be handed back to the governing body who gave them to him, which in this case was Chandokwon GB. So winning these awards, again, clearly I'm not happy about representing Britain. I'm not happy about British people. I'm not happy about the cultures of Britain or England or Scotland or Wales or the Greater United Kingdom. But I'm still going to go to national championships because I want to win these awards. Well, if you don't like the country, what value does winning a national championship in this country mean to you if you don't like it? Clearly then it has no value. So why do these competitions? Additionally, if you think that this country has no value or it's not important or it's not worth striving for or supporting or representing, then surely you have no issue then with surrendering all those national trophies that you won, representing a country you don't like, in a country you don't like, back to that governing body. So they can then award those trophies to people who do want to win them for the right reasons, for the moral reasons, for the ethical, for the cultural reasons. I've known so many people down the lines who've never won a national championships and they would love to. I've known people down the lines who really want to represent GB poomsae, and not just GB poomsae but GB sparring as well. People like Jay Jones, look at her. She when she was on top of her game and winning competitions for the national team, the national sparring team, she had so much happiness on her face. Sarah Stevenson, so much happiness on her face. Aaron Cook, he was devastated when he wasn't able to represent GB. You know, he was almost in tears. I remember those petitions going out trying to get Aaron Cook back onto the national team because it was given to another individual. Those people, Aaron Cook, Jay Jones, Sarah Stevenson, they want to be part of the British team because they clearly love their country, they love Britain, they want to represent Britain. People like Jay Jones, Sarah Stevenson, Aaron Cook, they want to take themselves out onto the international circuit representing Great Britain because they love their country, they love what they represent. We don't need people who don't want to be in the national team because they hate the country representing us, because they don't represent us, and they certainly shouldn't represent us. So this individual, if he so hates it, give your trophies back. Revoke your national championship statuses in the past. Say, I was never a national champion, because you clearly don't like the country or the national championships that you're representing and have represented. And that's about as far as politics as I'm going to go. Point being, this individual should revoke his national championship statuses, return his trophies, and never again use in his resume or CV that he was so many times undefeated national champion, because it clearly means jack to you. Give it to somebody who it means something to instead. Let it have some value. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Comment section down below there. It's there for a reason, not for decoration. Stay safe, train hard, keep listening to Prong because they're the best band around, and I'll see you all in the next video. Booyah!